Priscilla and Janice, the gloves are off. Coronation Street continues in half an hour and again at 10 o'clock. But now, tonight, with Trevor McDonald.
Tonight, the battle for a high street icon.
They have to get back some kind of wow factor. They have to make M&S some kind of glamorous shopping destination, get it out of the kind of 70s department store style that it's in at the moment.
The man who is offering billions for M&S.
Philip Green has an amazing drive. He's a real shopkeeper from grassroots level. He gets out there, and I think that he could be an incredibly good hands-on manager.
And the women who could finally decide its future.
They're rather frumpy. I feel like they're Orphan Annie style.
I think we all want sort of granny clothes.
Wouldn't actually waste my money in Marks and Spencer's.
Good evening. For generations, Marks & Spencer was the ultimate high street brand. It was fabulously profitable, loved by investors, and trusted by its customers. But since the late 90s, its sales have slipped and many shoppers have deserted it. And now, as it loses further ground to its rivals, it could soon be up for sale itself. Retail tycoon Philip Green, the fifth richest man in Britain, may learn this week whether the company's biggest shareholders will accept his £8.4 billion offer. But even if his bid is successful, he'll then face another huge task, persuading the army of former M&S customers to come back. So how difficult will that be? Fiona Foster has been finding out.
It's on course to make around £770 million profit this year. But for its investors, that just may not be enough. From being the dominant force on the high street, M&S is seeing its crown slip. Clothes sales are down 2%, home furnishings by 13% from last year. Even lingerie, knickers to you and me, is suffering. It seems the women of Britain are turning their backs and their backsides on Marks & Spencer.
They used to focus on your clothes, so they knew what shape you were. They used to focus on food, so they make sure you had the right food. And then they made you have the finance to make sure you could package it all together. It was peas, peps, and pullovers, whole thing linked together. Now, sadly, look what they're doing. It's just pants. Just in comparison, that's what people know them for. Even though they're doing these other things, frankly, they haven't got the pull of that great brand strength that was there 20 years ago.
Philip Green is the man who says he can put all that right. The owner of BHS, Topshop and Dorothy Perkins has increased profits at all his high street businesses, and he promises to repeat the trick at M&S. It's his second attempt to buy the company, and he's offering nearly £8.5 billion. But for his bid to be successful, he needs to appeal to three key groups. First up are the investors. Green needs to persuade them that he has a convincing strategy for the future, that he can cut costs and boost profits. Then there's the workforce. He'll need their loyalty and support if he's to deliver on those promises. And finally, he has to win over the most sceptical group of all, the customers, who've been deserting M&S in their droves in the last 5 years. And the vast majority are female. Meet 5 of them. Once they were all Marks & Spencer fans, but now they do their shopping elsewhere and say they're unlikely to return. Liz is 26 and a solicitor's clerk.
Over the last few years, I must say I wouldn't actually waste my money in Marks and Spencer's. I was actually going to a cheaper shop with better quality and something that looks more young and trendy.
Jill is 30 and a legal executive.
I wouldn't usually shop at Marks and Spencer's for my clothes. I have in the past bought children's clothes from there and food, but it's not somewhere I would definitely go for my own clothes.
Sue is 45 and a housewife.
I can remember when my nan used to buy blouses and things from, I used to fight for them. They were so lovely, with little pearl buttons, details.
June is 56 and a teacher.
I just don't see anything I like. They're rather frumpy. I feel like they're Orphan Annie style, some of them, and I find things in other shops that are much prettier.
And 60-year-old Pam is a careers advisor.
I don't think They think about women of my age very much. I think they think we all want sort of granny clothes, and although I'm a grandma, I don't really want to look like one. That doesn't mean I want to look silly and teenagery.
We brought all 5 to Manchester's Trafford Centre, home to all the leading chains as well as specialist boutiques. We wanted them to take part in an experiment, buy an outfit from M&S, then see if they could find a better one elsewhere that same afternoon. We were joined by fashion journalist Angela Buttolph.
Okay, ladies, this is the first part of your mission today, should you choose to accept it. I'm going to give you each an envelope, and inside this is an outfit I would like you to go and buy in Marks and Spencer's. You're going to have a strict budget, a strict amount of time, and this is your challenge for today. What have you got?
Classic summer dress. Wedding outfit.
Wedding outfit. Party wear. Party wear.
Smart casual outfit.
Smart casual.
Smart suit for work.
Smart suit for work. Okay, ladies, your time starts now. Happy shopping. So this should be a good test for M&S then, Angela. This is exactly the sort of market that they should be going for.
Yeah, I think the outfits are quite a good test. It's all kind of very straightforward sort of outfits that you would expect to be able to find in any store. So M&S should be able to provide it, but I think it will be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, with jeans, that'd be really, really smart, yeah.
There's something there. See if I can see something that I can compare it with.
It might work. I'll try it.
Our women each have £100 and 1 hour to find their ideal outfits. Critics like Angela say they'll struggle.
I think the biggest problem with Marks and Spencer's, and it hits you the minute you walk in the store, is that the layout is just chaos and it's really dated, and it really stands out on the high street. There are very few stores that merchandise the way that Marks and Spencer's are. I mean, it just looks a complete mess, and you go in there and you feel like you can't find anything. Everything's spread out. The shoes are at one end of the store, the clothes are at the other, and it's really uninviting.
It used to be so different. Back in the 70s, when M&S reigned supreme, there were few critical voices. Even in the yuppie 80s, the company had a supporter in the highest office in the land.
But this is lovely. That's charming.
Marks & Spencer's was the retail leader in the British High Street. Everyone admired the brand, people were drawn to the brand, they shopped there, and that was where their basic clothing was done, and to a great extent their leading food items were there as well. You went there to buy really good quality food you probably wouldn't find anywhere else. And so that was their lead position.
But by the end of the 90s, that position was heading downwards. Profit warnings and boardroom rows were common. Then there was a disastrous expansion into Europe. As the company closed its stores abroad, its customers at home began to walk away.
They lost focus on what their clients wanted, they lost focus on what the competition was doing, and they didn't change swiftly enough. And if you look at businesses, successful businesses in today's world, not just in retail, but anything, it's those that can adapt quickly. Not only quickly, but also hopefully try and lead that change. But if you're saying for one moment you sit back on your laurels and saying, I'm market leader, funnily enough, a few years later, you won't be.
The start of the new millennium brought an apparent revival in company fortunes. But by last summer, the revolution had stalled. And this year, sales began falling again. Once more, Marks and Spencer seemed to be in the papers every day, and never for the right reasons. It was only a matter of time before the predators began to circle. And they did, in the shape of billionaire Philip Green.
Philip Green, I think, has an amazing drive. He's a real shopkeeper from grassroots level. He gets out there, he looks at the stock, he knows what's going on, he talks to the people who work there, he talks to the customers himself. He doesn't rely on management and feedback and focus groups to give him the information. He's right out there finding out for himself. And I think that he could be an incredibly good hands-on manager.
What do you think of this? Oh, you see, I knew you'd look nice in this. I can't find anything, June.
Back in the shopping mall, the first part of our experiment is over. Our 5 women have had an hour and £100 to buy their outfits.
I like the top because it's really different. It's not run-of-the-mill.
No, I don't think it needs anything else, really, with having a ruffle
I think Jack's £75 and I think Ruffly's pants are £35.
So, hi, there you go. That's £84 to pay. So, they've chosen their clothes, but will they want to keep them?
Then, please.
Because now we're going to give them the chance to change their M&S outfits for something else. Well done, ladies. Well done. You've completed the first bit of your challenge. I can tell you're obviously no strangers to shopping, seeing you in there. Now, what I want you to do now is give me your bags so you can go on the second part of today's challenge. Now, you've got your brief still. You've got to fulfill the same brief, but this time you can do it in any of the shops in the whole mall. So good luck. Your time starts now. Off you go.
Off again.
Although M&S has found it hard to change with the times, it has been making efforts. Getting David Beckham to endorse a range of children's clothes boosted trade, as did the long-awaited move to allow credit cards in all stores. Perhaps the greatest success was bringing designer George Davis on board. But while his Pear Una range has been an undoubted success, critics say there aren't enough similar prestige brands available at M&S.
Quite like the colour of that underwear.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Who's that by?
Adina Ronay is one of Britain's top designers. Her daughter Sheba is a journalist. They say Marks & Spencer's in-house designer brand Autograph lacks appeal.
To be honest, this is a great dress. I mean, you know, it's a great dress. It's actually got the print lining, which is, I know that's quite an expensive way to do things. And I think that's also silk.
It does feel like it.
And this is a great dress. Now, if it had a designer label in it, not M&S, not, Autograph, it needs whoever the designer is. I don't know who the designer is, but it's lovely. This gorgeous dress has got the designer label in it. This is, from Debenhams, and this has got the designer label in it. And immediately, it's sort of more aspirational. It's quite simple. All they've got to do is put the designer label, promote the designer.
People these days want a label. We don't know which designer has designed these jeans. So in my book, what I would do is I would tell the people which designer. I would put a designer name on these jeans because people, it's the year of the, year of the label. People want to know. People want to wear labels. People want other people to know what they're wearing.
You don't want to be embarrassed by your clothes. Marks & Spencer's is not an aspirational brand. It's a utility brand. And as such, I'm afraid you don't wear a utility brand on your shirt.
Critics also accuse M&S of being slow to respond to trends. And in today's fashion world, speed is all.
The influence from the catwalk is that catwalk inspires high street fashion, it inspires the looks, it's out there really quickly, it's turned around very quickly, but you don't want to wear it for very long either.
For proof, look at this summer's must-have green dress. Within weeks of Kylie wearing her £1,400 outfit at the Cannes Film Festival, there were remarkably similar ones everywhere. But who was the first off the mark with a cut-price version in the high street? Not M&S, but the country's biggest supermarket.
In the high street today, it's a very difficult middle to the system. Go now to supermarkets. I mean, Tesco last season did a dress very like a clothes dress, but they did it for £45. It went off the shelves. It's what I call disposable fashion. It went off the shelves in no time at all. And it's because it's something that people can buy, they can wear it on a Saturday night, and then they can get 2 or 3 wears out of it, and then it doesn't matter. Really.
Marks & Spencer traditionally, I think, still has a relationship with lots of factories, manufacturers here, there and everywhere, and that they were always known for their quality merchandise, and I know that they are still trying to maintain that, and I think that is what's slowing them down. They're not turning things around as fast as the other, less expensive competition in the high street.
They're certainly not keeping up with Philip Green. His other high street stores respond to trends with lightning speed, as we found out back at the mall. Okay, Jill, found anything you like? Yeah. Yeah. Now this is Topshop. This is one of Philip Green's huge success stories. What is it that makes it very successful?
Well, I think this is kind of the ultimate, slightly embarrassing example. My dress is by a designer called Diane von Furstenberg. It'd be £350 in the shop. And here you have a very similar kind of dress, £45. 300 quid cheaper, and that is why people who are 30 are shopping here, people who are 13 are shopping here.
what about our other women? Are they managing to find better designs and better value outfits than the ones they bought at M&S?
How's it going? But I'm struggling a little bit in this shop.
Why?
Yeah, and I normally like River Island, but I'm finding it quite young for my age. Not finding as much choice, which has quite surprised me because I was quite down on Marks before I started, and I'm finding that compared with this, it's a lot better.
I'm not normally taken to anything grey, but it's quite a soft bluey grey, isn't it?
But short jackets are good if you're short. They make you look taller.
Shopping may be fun for millions of women, but for the men who want to control Marks & Spencer, it's deadly serious. Philip Green made his first multi-billion offer for the company earlier this month. It was immediately rejected by the M&S board.
I think it's unlikely they're going to send the keys round this afternoon. We've made a proposal. It's with them. Their shareholders now know they can ride with me or they can stay where they are.
If nothing else, Green's takeover bid has shaken up how the company's now run. In an attempt to calm investors, the board installed a new chief executive, Stuart Rose, to plot a turnaround in the company's fortunes.
I think this company is a great company. I think that, as I said last week, it's not bust, but it does need one or two areas where it can be polished up. Now, it may be that both Philip Green and I would have some similar views about it. The question is, should Philip Green have that reward for himself if he does it, or should the shareholders have the reward if I do it?
The stock market actually are very keen on both characters because they're both very effective business people. And so they'd like to be they'd like to have some investment participation with Mr. Green. The trouble is Mr. Green probably doesn't actually want the stock market and the stock market investors with him. So one is seen very effective, but he doesn't necessarily want to have shareholders. The other one is also seen as effective and is keen to have shareholders. What they want from Mr. Green is, frankly, cash. If you want to buy Marks & Spencer's, pay me the money and I'll go away.
I think Stuart Rose is probably the saviour, the white knight. He's got a very, very good grasp of retail. He's worked at M&S before, and he's very committed and very focused. And I think what he needs to do is make sure that the stores look exciting, because at the moment, very often they don't.
But back to the people that really matter, our panel of ex-Marks & Spencer customers. They finished shopping, now for the moment of truth. At the end of the day, will their ideal outfits come from M&S or from one of their high street rivals? First is Liz. We'd given her £100 to buy a suit for work.
So where's that from?
This is from Nexus Suit.
And why did you choose it?
It looks nice, looks smart. The texture's actually very nice and it's a lovely fit.
Now this was your Marks & Spencer suit. You did like it?
I actually adore that suit, but as I say, it did actually need altering, etc. But besides that, I mean, the suit itself was actually a gorgeous suit. The colour was lovely as well, nice and fresh. But being realistic, this is the more ideal colour.
Ooh. One down and Marks has lost out. Next comes Jill, who'd been looking for the best party outfit.
Definitely.
Why did you choose that?
Because it's definitely party wear compared to the Marks & Spencer's range. It felt more formal. This is definitely party wear.
What do you think, Angela? This to me looks like a real kind of, young chick out on the town outfit, whereas this looks like, Sunday afternoon garden party for a 40-year-old kind of outfit.
More TV stuff.
And also see-through white trousers, no use to anyone.
Jill, this outfit?
No, definitely. I didn't feel a bit comfortable in it. It was more formal. It gaped here, and I just didn't feel comfortable in it. But there was nothing else that really struck out to me as party wear.
So, with River Island the winner, M&S has again come off worse. But what about Sue?
Now, your brief, Sue, was smart casual.
That's right.
And your outfit is from?
Marks & Spencer.
That surprise you?
I'm very surprised because my store in Southport, I actually cut through to go to another store and I don't buy anything. I find it very bland, very boring. Everything's the same.
Now this, an almost identical outfit, and this came from?
The top and the jeans from Next, and the top is from Zara.
And why did you go for that over this, do you think?
I felt that was too fussy.
So you didn't have any faith that she would find something she wanted in M&S. And shopping is, probably 80% thinking that you're going to find something. If you walk into a store and don't expect to find something you want, you're going to give up really quickly. and end up in Zara where you think you will find something. So this is the problem that M&S have to overcome now, that someone like Sue, who would like their stuff, doesn't expect to.
Marks came up trumps for Sue. Will the same be true for June?
June in her classic summer dress. Very nice. And that's from?
Marks and Spencer's.
So why have they got it right for you then, June?
I think the colours are so summery. Soft, but very fresh. And I like it. I think it's flattering.
I mean, this could be Jigsaw or any of the kind of cooler high street stores, and I think it's fantastic price as well, really good quality. You look lovely.
Yes, very pleased with it.
As for the alternative, Phase 8, you chose this. What do you think of this?
I like it, but I don't like it as much. I think it's a pretty dress, but it's not quite as light and frothy, if you like, as this one.
And it's twice the price.
It's £90, yes, quite a lot more.
So, 2 out of 4 for M&S. Now for the tiebreaker.
This is Pam in her wedding outfit from?
This one's mainly from Wallace.
How Wallace?
The petite bit.
And why do you like it?
I actually really liked the material of the jacket and the fact it's short and I'm short, and it wasn't too bad a fit.
And this was the alternative from M&S?
Yes.
Why did you choose that over this?
It wasn't as interesting, and they didn't really have any colours I liked, or really a style I liked, and I really couldn't find anything. I was getting very panicky. I thought, I'm just not going to spend any money. And so it was difficult.
And your verdict, Angela, on both outfits?
I think this is a really great outfit, and this is Wallace. It's Philip Green's store, and he's trying to get in at M&S, and he has a lot of the Arcadia stores as well, which have obviously really captured what people want on the high street. And I think this is a really great jacket.
Well, that's the end of our challenge. It wasn't exactly a scientific experiment, but 2 out of the 5 women chose M&S. The others chose a variety of things from other high street shops. What does it tell you about the state of M&S at the moment?
I think it's quite encouraging because it shows that people like the stuff that's in there, but it's slightly worrying because it suggests people don't know that they're going to find things they like. It's trying to get people into the store and encourage people to have faith in M&S.
So whoever ends up owning M&S, what are they going to have to do to make sure it matches the other high street stores?
They have to get back some kind of wow factor. They have to make M&S some kind of glamorous shopping destination, because at the moment there's far too much kind of sludgy beige linen still and not enough sparkly tops.
Although it's the city that'll vote on any increased bid from Philip Green, it's millions of customers who may ultimately decide M&S's future. New boss Stuart Rose says he takes their opinions seriously, and their views will be reflected in his new company strategy to be unveiled in a fortnight. If he impresses them, he should win the shareholders' backing too.
Fiona Foster reporting. And as the battle for boardroom control at Marks & Spencer comes to a head, the Financial Services Authority confirmed today that it's investigating the trading of shares in the company. It's been revealed that Chief Executive Stuart Rose bought 100,000 M&S shares on May the 7th, shortly after speaking to Philip Green. 3 weeks later, Mr. Green launched his takeover bid, and as a result, the value of those shares increased. Today, Mr. Rose said he had no knowledge of Mr. Green's bid before buying the shares. He promised to cooperate fully with the official inquiry, but denied any wrongdoing. And that's all we have time for this evening. We're back with you at 8 o'clock on Friday night. Until then, from all of us here, good night, and thank you for joining us.
Well, next, Scylla and Janice continue their battle for Battersby as we return to Coronation Street. Then in half an hour, John Travolta, no less, is preparing for landing at Holiday Airport, Sydney. And don't miss our late visit to Coronation Street. That's tonight at 10 o'clock.